Who are you?
I am LP.
LP, welcome to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Thank you very much.
You're actually touring now with a puppet.
Mr. Killams is on the tour as well, yeah. Mr. Killams is here. He's sort of our spirit guide.
Now, I was thinking, this isn't the first time you've worked with a puppet, is it?
It's not technically. I don't think it is, no.
Because if we go way back to this amazing Ego Trips book, if you could open it up to the anointed page, what do we see here?
This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is me in about 1997 with the infamous Biz puppet, the Ego Trip Biz puppet. That was also featured in the Master Ace video, Me and the Biz.
And right beside it, who do we have?
Eminem.
With?
The Biz doll.
The Biz doll gets around, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. We're trying to sort of elevate Mr. Killams to Biz doll level. That's sort of the inspiration, yeah.
And that means you got to have a photo. And I thought, let's recreate this photo, LP.
I think we should. Unfortunately, Mr. Killams is not in the room right now.
But we can recreate it with, I have something for you. We can recreate it with, we have the Biz. Ready to recreate the photo?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Hold on. Do we have a beer? I'm going to need a beer for this.
What type of beer are you going to need? Let's look closely.
Red Stripe.
Well, I got you a Red Stripe beer right here to recreate this photo here, LP. Again, could you explain to the people what exactly we are doing here in case they're wondering?
We're recreating a classic picture from the Ego Trip Big Book of Rap Lists, if I'm not mistaken, and they caught a young LP in 1997 with the Biz doll drinking a beer, a Red Stripe. So we're going to try and see if we can recreate this as best we can. Hold on, can I take a look at that again? So the Biz doll is sort of this way. My hat, as is customary in Brooklyn, is tilted this way. I'm going to lean in like this. I don't have a goatee anymore.
Yeah! Recreation! Right into the year 2012.
Did it. I'm finally home. I feel like it's all come full circle.
Now, on your brand new LP with Killer Mike, you have a song called Big
Beast.
Big Beast. And what's that influenced by?
That was influenced by a couple of things. It was influenced by, of course, Fred Wesley and the classic Fred Wesley sampled Public Enemy, #1 Public Enemy song, you know. And what was the name of the Fred Wesley song?
Blow Your
Mind, yeah. And it was also influenced by Schoolie D, PSK. So.
And I was thinking, Public Enemy, Bomb Squad, Public Enemy, puppets. We're on a puppet theme here, so I have a puppet, a doll, a present for you, LP.
Oh, that's amazing. It's a little Flavor Flav, isn't it?
And what interactions have you had with Flavor Flav and Biz?
Simultaneously?
Yeah, I guess I was curious, because New York, you see and do it all.
I do, don't I? I've actually had interactions with both of them separately, yeah. I've met Flavor Flav a bunch of times, and I actually had an early interaction with Biz Markie when I was very young and kicked out of high school, and I was going to musical engineering school, and I went to this place called Center for the Media Arts in Manhattan instead of high school, basically, where I was trying to learn how to be a musical engineer, and I went into a place called Downtown Records, which was on 25th Street, and this is the first and only time I ever met Biz Markie. And there was a payphone in there, and there was a really big guy with his back turned, and he dropped $1, and I was the only other person in the store, and I just picked up the $1 and I tapped him on his back, and I said, "Hey man," and he turned around. He just looked at me like this.
Would you like him to look at you any other way?
No. And I gave him his $1, and it was Biz Markie.
Crush Group had the Fat Boys, as you mentioned. I was curious, did you ever check out their own movie,
Disorderlies? Yeah.
Disorderlies.
The day that it opened, of course. Yeah, I was there.
Did you miss school for that one too?
No, it was a weekend. Yeah, I saw it the day it opened.
Now, what can you tell the people about Disorderlies? I was looking at the soundtrack, Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I would say that the score was probably not the main attraction. It was the Fat Boys' big outing. It was their post-Crush Groove movie that they got, and everything. I guess Hollywood was gonna, give them a shot, see if they had what it took to be leading men. I liked it at the time.
What do you think about this particular Fat Boys LP there, LP?
I mean, this is a classic.
Is this the best one, Crushing, because of the cover,
I don't think it's the best one. I don't think it's necessarily the best one. I always thought All You Can Eat was my favorite, personally.
So LP, here we are in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and we're here also. There's Killer Mike over there.
That's him right there. You can tell because he's Killer Mike.
Make some noise for Killer Mike! Make some noise for LP!
I guess I was just curious, Killer Mike, of envisioning LP and T.I. in the same studio.
It's gonna be cool. We're gonna get in the same studio. He's gonna do some more stuff with Tip, I think. Yo, my interviews don't be this good. You just asked me about Sade and shit.
We'll have to have another interview another time now.
You gotta get your shit together, man. I like you. Don't do it. You done gave him a biz, dog. You got a flay. You got the fat. Like, I personally, this is a classic because I was fat and a boy when this dropped. So this meant a lot to me.
This is my favorite group.
Crushing was like my mom got me this T-shirt bootleg out of Green Rock Flea. I wore this T-shirt like every day till my stomach did like that.
Yeah.
Back to T.I.
Yeah, Tip's my homie. He wrecked, him and Bun wrecked, but
How did you explain LP to T.I.?
I say he white, but he dope.
That's what it says on my business card, actually.
Nah, Tip a rap fan like me. So it's not like, it's only rap circles. Even if it's obscure, you can call to find out who it is. But I told him that I'm working with this ill producer. He's from the underground. You may or may not have heard of him, but you got to hear the beats. And I played Big Beats and I think 2 others for him. He heard Big Beats. He said, leave it. So he started playing around with it when I was there. And I called L like, Tip is working on a record.
Well, thank you for that little tidbit there, Killer Mike. And do-do-do-do.
Toot toot.
Yeah. And now back to
P.
LP, the basis of your production, is the basis of your production in some respects BDP, criminal-minded?
Oh, shit. What?
What do we have here?
This is a BDP, criminal-minded, what appears to be a Glock 9 keychain.
No, a USB.
Oh, I thought it was old school. Oh, it's a USB chain. Okay, that's cool too. Yeah, Scott LaRock and Sed G were big influences of mine. Definitely, Sed G was producer for Ultramagnetic MCs, and he actually ghost produced a lot of the original Criminal Minded, record. Yeah, and it was probably like one of the biggest influences in my production. Definitely.
What's the connection between the USB BDP and Bill Cosby and Fat Albert?
Well, they sampled, not for this record, actually, but they sampled Fat Albert for this record, actually, which I own, for Illegal Business, which was the song where they sampled the "What Would We Get for 63 Cents?" And this record was one of the first. I had this record, and I own this record, and I just had it as a child. So it was one of the first samples that I owned, that I caught, and it was also that was one of the reasons why I started collecting records, is because I realized that you could find things that rappers were using in their songs on records. Yeah.
And you're not afraid to name names, are you, LP?
Not really.
Like, for instance, on your promo CDs, what can you tell the people about that? Your promo CDs and journalist names. This is genius. I love it.
Well, when we were doing Def Jux, at one point we got a little frustrated with the fact that when we would send our records out to journalists to review them, within a week they would be online. And, we made the connection that some of the people were, someone was putting it online. Obviously not always the same person. So we designed a computer program that would allow us to easily put on, we could just say the journalist's name and it would put it on every song audibly, which wasn't exactly a huge hit with the journalistic community, but I was kind of proud about that. And ultimately it didn't matter because it leaked anyway. It was kind of a famous moment.
You scared some journalists, didn't you?
We scared a few. Yeah.
Could you name who you scared?
There was a dude who by accident leaked the thing. Apparently, it was in one of his folders, and it was shared on like a P2P site, and it was Matthew Schneider, actually, who was a totally good kid. You know what I mean? But
It was like Matthew Schneider. Was it like a cool beat?
No, it was just like, this belongs to Matthew Schneider. And it just was everywhere. To this day, whenever fans want to let me know that my album has leaked, they'll just say Matthew Schneider.
LP, on your brand new
Album
you have a song called Drones.
over Brooklyn.
Drones Over Brooklyn, and it is kind of, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, it's an ode, isn't it, to the Schoolie D, right? There's some Schoolie D in there.
Is his name Schoolie?
I just like saying Schoolie D. Are you okay holding all this stuff? This is amazing.
Easy. I do this all the time. I'm like a human Jenga.
I like the way the BDP is kind of working as a shelf.
It is for my life.
You can't say Schoolie if you don't say your favorite artist, the Steady.
What am I looking at here?
Steady B.
Steady B.
If
Yeah.
you'd like, you can put some of that down.
No, that would be ridiculous.
Because the beer is the most important thing, the red stripe,
I
right?
feel like at this point I've gone far enough. I'm going to keep going. Yeah.
I love the way we're standing here doing the interview. It's kind of like we're on the beach or something. You're getting covered by sand, except you're getting covered by records.
It's true. And sweat. I'm actually sweating quite a bit now, too.
And at the end of the interview, you just be totally covered in records.
You can catch it right there. It's actually coming right down my forehead. You see that little bead of sweat?
But you're used to that kind of thing because you were on Conan the other day.
Conan, the Red Barian, yes.
Now, what I was curious was,
I have to put this down. I'm dying. Help Shannon Moore of Activator.
well, thanks so much, LP. Really appreciate it. Keep on rocking in the free world and do.
Do.